Hello, and welcome back. Yes, we are playing Final Fantasy XIV today. Because I want to get caught up before Dawn Trail. That's my goal. Since I'm close, a lot closer than I was for Endwalker's release. That's for sure. Yeah. Last time we returned to the present, and then we went to go see how our buddies were doing in Garlemald. And they were being attacked by monstrosities, and so we fought those off. Also protecting some people that were being escorted by the Charlian. Because they were going to try and go to the tower that has a teleporter that teleports you to the moon. Because they figured, well, why build a ship if we can just teleport people to the moon? But then, you know, monsters attacked and that area became far too dangerous. So we all returned to Charlian. I briefed all of our friends on my goings-on in the past and what I learned. And also the space bunnies. They showed up and they were all like, we decided we're gonna help, or we're gonna try and help protect the planet instead of just leaving. Instead of just taking as many people as possible and leaving. And also Urianger is here as well. He came along with the space bunnies. And one of those space bunnies really wanted some pudding. I don't yet know if they got their pudding. Maybe we'll find out today. So let's hop on into it. Woo! Also, I guess MGP update. I've now got 409,000. Apparently there's an event going on right now that gives you like 50% extra MGP for everything you do in the Gold Saucer. So that includes completing weekly challenges. So if you would normally get 5,000 MGP for completing a challenge, then you would instead get 7,500. If you would normally get 60,000 from doing the weekly fashion show thing, whatever they call it, you instead get 90,000. So that's pretty nice. From what I can tell, a lot of the people actually live down here. I don't know how much help we can offer, but I dare say they'll benefit from some of that fresh inspiration Scarlock Montaigne mentioned. Let's start by asking around, ideally without getting in anyone's way. Right, also, we offered to help them with their problems getting their engine running. Which turned out to not be a problem that they didn't know how to fix. It was just a problem that they hadn't been able to fix yet. For, I would say, lack of effort. But let's meet by the Aetheryte once our work is done. Because it turns out their engines aren't efficient enough to make enough trips, you know, all the trips they would want or need to take to get as many people to the moon as possible. Their engines aren't efficient enough. They know how to make them efficient enough, and that would be to get more. I think it was Allegan adamantite, or some sort of special adamantite or something like that. which a lot, basically all that they have found was from a shard of, I believe it's Dalamud, the old second moon that was housing Bahamut and blew up, and shards of it fell to the planet's surface. Yeah, that was actually an Allegan construction, and they had some of that particular material in there, although it is a rather rare material even for the Allegans, who knew how to make it, but it was, I guess, difficult enough to make it that they didn't make a ton of it. So there's some here and there, maybe, and they're all like, we tried sending some people into one of the shards, and it was just too dangerous. They couldn't get where they needed to go to search the whole thing. And then we're just like, hold on a moment. Alphino steps to the side. Link pearls to the group call, and he's all like, hey yo, we're looking for some Allegan adamantite. We could really use it. Please, if anyone out there can find some and bring it to us in Charlian, that would be awesome. And then people come back like, oh yeah, we're on it, boss. We'll go check over here. Other group, oh, we'll check over here. And we got people spreading out across the world looking for this stuff. And then, is it Horsefall? No, is it? Whatever. Alphino's dad is all like, what? Huh? Huh? He's so stunned by this, and it's like, yeah, duh. We're the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. We've been protecting people for ages. We've been helping people for ages. Of course they're gonna come to our aid. Did you not hear about how we liberated the people of Hingashi and Authored? Did you not hear about that part? Did you not hear about how much we've helped the people of the Black Shroud, of Mordana, of Querthus, of Dravania, of Giravania, Lanasia? Like, come on, dude. You didn't think we have connections? Literally, all you had to do was ask. But instead, you kept your secrets to yourselves. And look at where that got you. Hello, Vexed Veterinarian. Yes, ether currents. Also, I am in fact drinking yet another Mountain Dew for the Mountain Zoo, which I sadly won't be able to claim until the early access comes out for Dawn Trail. But once that releases, I can get my mount, and it'll be pretty cool.
Excuse me, ma'am. I couldn't help but notice that you've a way about you that simply screams I have an affinity for creatures of the wild. And since I'm never wrong about such things, might I trouble you? You see, amongst the troops of trolls living in the outer circuit, I came upon one who was sick beyond measure. I took the poor creature in at once, and saw him healed, of course, but when I attempted to return him to his rightful home, he flew into a panic, as if he could not bear the thought of going back. To make matters worse, the troll saw fit to escape into a den of Analas. I would go after him, but I'm so fumble-footed, I'll scare him off like as not, and be torn limb from limb for my pains by the fiends. So I turn to you. Would you seek out this troll of which I spoke? I shall provide you with his favourite food, and with it, you should be able to claim the piteous thing. Hopefully, that will be enough to see his senses restored, and for him to come hurrying back. And, though I shudder to think of it, if any of those fell Analas seek to impede you or pester that troll, make those beasts regret their interference. Oh, and don't worry, you will be rewarded for your efforts.
Oh, the ether currents is all I need. but I will gladly accept anything else you are willing to offer. Of course. Silken grin? Oh, hello. Are you one of the new helpers? Working on the ether burner. Oh dear. I hear things have come to a standstill on that front. Even so, I'd choose that over my current duties. Checking and loading samples day in, day out. It's tiring, thankless work. Still, no one will be cross if I misplace a few legumes or what have you. The forum's got enough on their plate as it is. What with deciding who gets to board the Ark and when, a lot of powerful people have opinions about that. My heart goes out to Master Fortunal. Fortunal, that's his name. And the others? Not Horsefont, Fortunal. Hardly get a moment's rest, I expect. Do they even have time to sleep? Good question. Also, I will have to figure out either a new outfit or which class I want to use come Dawn Trail. I'm sure I will love to try out the new classes. Viper at the very least, and Beast Tamer once I'm able to unlock it. But until then, I'll need something that's a little more tropical than Penguin. Helping with the Ark, even with all the power Master Coco's managed to squeeze out of the ether burner, it's still not enough, apparently. And now I hear the final days have arrived. Horrible creatures running rampant all over. If only we'd begun the Exodus sooner. People are dying, and there'll be no end to it if we don't fulfill our duties. But we will. We've spent years preparing for this moment. Believe in the plan, and all will be well. Indeed. Alka. Cyrenide. Louisa! Rogo! Admin-in-law. Poltisane!
Offering to help. That's very kind, but I should be able to organize the rest of the documents by myself. It's mostly lists of the things we'll need once we arrive on the moon, and then whichsoever star we choose as our new home. My duties largely concern the maintenance of living conditions, so I'll be a lot busier after we depart. I hear that our lunar collaborators have come down to assist in our efforts. I'm looking forward to finally meeting them in person, after having communicated with them in such a limited capacity thus far. To be perfectly honest, I've not even the slightest idea what they look like. I do hope they're not enormous looming giants. Why, I would much prefer something small and fluffy, like that hatted rabbit that ran by. They very much are small and fluffy. They are straight up moon rabbits. Ma'am. Straight up moon rabbits. Or bunnies. Moon bunnies. Yeah, oh wait. Before we get there. Need to go look for this little troll. See what has become of him.
Oh, wait. No, not up here. That's just gonna lock me in because I can't jump over that wall for some reason. Made it just a little too tall. Wayward troll! You poor thing. Fret not. I will not let the beasts take you. Wrong button. There we go. Yeah. Blazing Anala. Get out of here. Got a little treat for you. Okay. I take that as a good thing. Come on. There we go. That takes care of that Aetheryte quest. Or not Aetheryte. Ether Current quest. Whoops,
We have a responsibility to put down the more violent and ruly ones. Most trolls, such as this one, are kind, docile beings. In fact, my friend here has a real chance of becoming leader of his tribe, perhaps even guardian of the forest someday. It is we who saw these creatures removed from their natural habitats and relocated them within Labyrinthos. Thus, we've a responsibility to watch over them to ensure they are well, and it would be too cruel to dispose of one simply because they're under the weather. Ah yes, your reward, here as promised. Now then, it's high time I saw this fellow return to the outer circuit. Farewell, adventurer.
Yep. Get 815 gil. And a chunk of XP. And of course the Ether Current, which is the main thing. Still though. 3 more. One's from a main story quest. Crap is going on? Weird. Well, seem to be back. Though I think it might only be over Wi-Fi. Let's see how that goes. Hey, you, stop. Let me back in, please. Huh. Yeah, my internet cut out for a second there. Very weird. Well, I guess we'll get back to it here. Living way.
Fancy meeting you here, Genosia. Our friends in the forum brought us to see their teeny tiny toy boat. which was quite impressive considering they didn't use any creation magics. What we're really interested in is Etherius itself, though we now find ourselves in a sort of funny underground miniaturized version of it.
Yeah, kinda.
We were hoping the forum would give us a guided tour, but it appears they're rather preoccupied. Honestly, all that time to prepare and they're still not ready. I suppose we'll just have to show ourselves around, or at least that's what we were planning to do until we chanced upon Urianger and your good self. Since you're both dawdling about, engaging in idle chit-chat, perhaps you could show us a few points of interest? Won't that be fun?
Okay. Yes, level 89. Good. Good. We're almost to max level. Look at that. It's just another 10.6 million XP. Wise guides. Try as he might, Urianger cannot free himself of the Loporrits. And it seems neither can I. Tour of Labyrinthos? An unexpected yet prudent suggestion. Given the similarities betwixt this artificial environment and Bestway's burrow, it would be in our best interests to have the Loporrits acquaint themselves with those conditions deemed optimal by their Charlian collaborators. I fear, however, that continued reliance upon my limited knowledge would risk narrowing rather than broadening their perspectives. Mayhap thou art better suited to lead this venture? Please?
What a marvellous idea! Might we begin with that great big what's-it over yonder?
Yes, the what's-it. I shall leave its explanation to Genosia. Goodbye! Oh, no, they seem to be following him. Oh, they didn't mean the Aetheryte. They meant some other big what's-it. The structure over here, I guess? Or did they mean... Wait, no, but they're over here. Where? Oh, that big what's-it? Perhaps? Alright, there you are.
Goodness me! To build something so large without creation magics is positively stupendous! Perhaps you could direct our attention to its most important features?
Search the apparatus for points of potential interest. Yeah, you may move the camera so zoom in and out, target area, and split. Yep. These tanks. Yes, important feature.
It's a little hard to see from here, but is that a golden pipe connected to the top of those tanks? And I can see through that window another pipe at the bottom. Ah, this must be for purifying water drawn up from below.
Yeah. Sure. Yep. Whatever you said. Cool. Adventurous. Oh, that is a very important thing. An ambystoma. Especially lively one. It would appear that the concept you observed in another time, another place, was approved for life in the wider world. Somehow. Very important feature of this structure. The little axolotl creature. A metallic tube. Drawing up water.
Is that water I hear from inside that great big tube? It must be because of those cogs and that gigantic wheel at the top. Oh, I see. That's how they draw up the water. There's probably some sort of spiral-shaped mechanism inside it too.
Probably, yep. For sure, definitely. I was just getting to that, for sure. The mushroom-like thing.
That looks like the trees in Greatest Ensvale. Hold on, that's a bit of a strange shape. It's thin at the bottom, but big and round at the top. Quite tall for something so unbalanced, too. Now it makes sense. That's where they store the water.
Yep, water tower.
Well, if I were to hazard a guess, water drawn from underground, presumably with some other mechanism, is purified here and stored in that tower before being distributed elsewhere. I'm right, aren't I? I knew it! A design brilliant in its simplicity. I dare say it would take only a moment to install even the harshest of environments. For us Loporrits, that is. Indeed. Securing a reliable source of water is of the utmost importance for any fledgling settlement. We have read, however, that peoples of Aetheris sometimes make their homes in arid deserts and such. How are they able to survive?
I built near oases. Or near an oasis. Areas near waterfalls are common sites for villages in Girabania, but in Thanalan, near an oasis. They flock to the sources of water.
So wherever you choose to live, you're never far from water. Oh dear, I worry we won't be able to procure the necessary amount. We can provide enough water to keep them from dying out completely, but it would appear they rely on it far more than we'd anticipated. A few adjustments may be in order, once we've calculated the average rate of consumption per individual. It may also be worth learning more about how exactly they obtain their water in the first place.
Master Alphino spoke of the machinery responsible for that feat during our journey through Logisticon Alpha, did he not? Mayhap the Loporrits will share his appreciation for the engineering marvel.
Oh yes, that sounds absolutely splendid.
We must journey beyond the sanctuary of Sharlayan Hamlet. I shall lead the way.
You mean we'll have to brave the untamed wilderness? A valid concern indeed. We could not help but notice the many dangerous-looking creatures with big, nasty teeth lurking beyond the safe confines of this settlement. Were we not escorted here by burly custodians, I dread to think what would have become of us.
Regrettably, to many a hungry predator with the aforementioned big, nasty teeth, Loporrits may appear to be a potential and rather appetizing source of sustenance. Might I impose upon thee to assist in securing safe passage to Logisticon Alpha? For my part, I shall act as escort to Living Way and Cooking Way. I entrust Singing Way and Growing Way to thy care. A more valiant protector they could not wish for. Godspeed.
If it's the same to you, I'd rather not be eaten by some horrid beastie. Come along, Growing Way, to the water extraction, what's it?
Not exactly a water... I don't think it's a water extraction. It makes clouds. It makes storm clouds. That's about it. Who is agreeing wholeheartedly with me? And what? Where are they? Where did they come from? Where did they go? What are they agreeing with? Surveying. Uh-oh. Anala! Back off, beastie. You'll not have these rabbits. Foolish fool. And you're dead. Running away.
Thank you so much. I really hope this water extraction what it is worth these harrowing experiences. All part of the fun, some might say. But I'd rather not be burnt to a crisp if it's all the same to you.
Sure thing. Also, these leopards. The untamed wilds! Guys, this is a zoo compared to the rest of the planet. I mean, they have actual barriers between areas. Only a few of a creature in each area. They're kept mostly separate. Admittedly, they are rather aggressive, but still. My friends, I bid you welcome to Logisticon Alpha. Our destination doth lie at the lift's top. Pray, follow me. Yes. Away to Logisticon Alpha. To the very top. Yes, I would like to use the lift, please.
Marvelous! Simply marvelous! So this is where the magic, or science rather, takes place. The perfect environment to sustain life, artificially created. The knowledge we'll gain here will be essential when we start looking for new stars for your kind to inhabit. Apparently, most of them don't even have air for you to breathe. You're all very lucky that Atheris just so happens to provide everything you need to thrive. Or did mankind turn out the way they are because of the available resources, I wonder? Either way, it's nothing short of miraculous, and I cannot wait to see more of it.
Yes, thank you for that. Contract lake gear. Which has call 86. 545. These are 539. Take a look. You got that? Yep. Archaean velvet bottoms of fenny. Tenacity. Yes, good. Tenacity better than determination, I would think, for a tank. Good. Equip. What? Excuse me. What are these? Excuse me? That's not what's depicted here. What is going on? Where's the legs? Where's the legs of these pants? And why are they pink instead of brown? What is going on here? I mean, I'm gonna be glamoring it anyway, but what? Then I'm putting these back on. Putting some actual pants back on for a little bit longer. Ridiculous. Cooking Way is eager for a change of venue, or at the very least, a change of what's it.
This is all very wonderful, I'm sure, but I was rather hoping to learn more about your nourishment provision facilities. In other words, where is the food?
I believe both the knowledge and consumables you seek may be found at Merial Agronomics. As I imagine Singing Way and the others intended to study every conceivable facet of this apparatus, wouldst thou be so kind as to escort our visiting culinarian?
Yes, that sounds much more interesting. Hopefully, I'll be able to see firsthand some of the delicacies Orion J was telling me about. Even his incredibly vivid, if a bit too verbose, descriptions cannot compare to sampling them myself. Not to mention Atharis will soon be no more, so I must learn all I can while there is still time. Let us brook no further delay!
You know, I gotta say, though, if you're looking for, culinary things, Charlene might not be the best place. They tend to be more focused on the essential nutrients that is required rather than taste and whatnot. Taste and presentation. They're like, whatever, it's frivolous stuff, we don't need it. We'll just get exactly the nutrients that we need and we're good. So if you want culinary, maybe you should come with me to Lenosia.
This is the place, yes? The heady aroma was enough to guide me here, and I've spotted several of the fruit and vegetables featured in our compendium. I'd dearly love to try some, but I read that those who help themselves to a farmer's crops without permission are often caught and put into pies! Oh, Peter Rabbit! Perhaps you could ask whoever's in charge if they would be willing to part with a few samples?
It's now accompanying you. Yes, I know how accompanying works. You've done this like 20 times this expansion. And you've explained it every single time. Nice swords. Really nice. Jebke. What a fine mess this is. Fine mess? Ah, it's you, the one who climbed down the mine shaft. I'd show you around if I could, but I'm rushed off my feet preparing for the Exodus. And I'm not the only one. We've all got to find ways to do what we do down here, up there, first on the moon, then on whichever star the Forum decides would become our new home. It's all so sudden, so unreal.
Don't you want to go to the moon?
Well, it's better than waiting for the final days to claim us, but no matter how carefully it's all planned, we'll never be able to take every variety of flora and fauna with us. Even the ones we can take may not survive in their new environment. So many species doomed to extinction. Sorry, that's not what you came to talk about, is it?
Nothing quite so dire, I assure you. We merely wish to sample a little of your produce, if we may.
By all means, help yourselves.
Much appreciated, my good fellow.
So, where to begin?
Sorry.
Wrong person. I guess we'll take a look at the infamous grapes. They've got a little more polygons than I remember, but still. Oh, grapes.
Oh, I know what these are. Grapes, yes. Let's see if they are as delicious as they look. So sweet, so sour, the taste is much like a ripe philosopher's carrot. And yet, the texture is entirely different. The contrast between the outer skin and the fruit within is most peculiar, though far from unpleasant. Yes, I think I'll try another. Well, that's certainly given me food for thought, though in a far less visceral manner than any philosopher's carrot. But tell me, what is your opinion of grapes?
I'd brave an erupting volcano for a choice bunch. Meh. Ghastly things. I'd rather eat rancid gigantoad eyeballs. No. They're good. I wouldn't brave a volcano for a choice bunch, but they're pretty good. Somewhere between that and meh. I enjoy some grapes.
Yes, they are rather Moorish, aren't they? And from what I've read, quite versatile too. Something about people stepping on them to make intoxicating beverages, as I recall. Anyway, that's enough about grapes for the time being. On to the next treat.
Yes. The next treat. Oranges! Ooh. Or are they tangerines? Orange.
Orange by name, orange by nature. What came first, the fruit or the color? Who cares? Let's see.
The fruit did. Technically, I guess the color existed before the oranges? Yeah, I'm sure. Because I'm sure there's plenty of stars out there that were orange long before oranges, like long, millions of years before oranges even existed on Earth. But as far as naming goes, the orange fruit was called an orange. And the color at that time, people just called it red. It was just another shade of red. And then eventually some people were all like, you know, this really isn't red though. Like, red is red. This is something different. What will we call it? Orange. Why not? We already got that name right here. It's sitting there. It's a fruit that is that color. We'll just call it orange. Why not? That's also why people with orange hair are often called redheads, because that color used to be referred to as red. And so you were called redhead. And that somehow has stuck. I don't know how it has stuck for so long, because I mean, even as a child, I look at that, I was like, that's not red though. Why are you calling them redhead when it's orange? Like, there are people who dye their hair red, and that's red. It ain't orange. Just saying. And that's, you know, you don't call people who dye their hair red redheads. No, it just creates so much confusion when you say somebody has red hair. Do you mean red hair or do you mean orange hair? You know? Anyways, enough of that tangent. We'll eat some oranges.
Yes, that's equal parts sweet and sour, as with the grapes, yet nothing alike. I may have to consult Urian about expanding my vocabulary. I simply cannot find the words to describe it. Perhaps what I'm looking for is bitter? This is all very complicated, you know? So many flavors, so many choices, and each individual with their own personal preferences. Now I see why you all turned your noses up at the idea of eating nothing but carrots. Marvelous though they still are in my estimation, let no one say I said otherwise. But speaking of carrots, I've yet to sample any of the vegetables. Let's see what's in that field over there.
Over there, eh? Well, over here we have pumpkins?
That color, that texture, are they some sort of enormous round carrots?
No, they're gourds.
No? In any case, proper nomenclature is less of a concern than the taste. Blech! It's so hard and flavorless! I may as well be chewing a piece of wood. That all but confirms it. These are nothing more than misbegotten failures masquerading as goodly carrots!
Stop! Can't you see these are pumpkins? And no one with any sense would try eating them raw. You're supposed to cook them first.
Do you not find it an awful bother? Far from it. Cooking is a joy unto itself. And what's more, it broadens the range of ingredients that we may safely eat. But above all else, cooking allows us to draw out the full potential of our produce. Pumpkin stew has been one of my favorite dishes for as long as I can remember. Then perhaps even these hard blocks of plant matter can become as delicious as the orange I sampled. I wonder though, if there is anything even more delicious. How about that yellow fruit over yonder?
Yep. Oh, you're... Prepare yourself. These are quite sour if they are in fact lemons. Are they lemons though? What? They're not quite lemon shaped, but I don't know what else would be yellow and shaped like that. Shaped like eggs. Are they meant to be mangoes maybe?
What a wondrous fragrance. With luck, it'll have a flavor to match. As I've no idea how these are eaten, I'll just bite into it. My tongue, is this poison?
Are they're supposed to be lemons?
A lemon? You mean it's supposed to taste like this? How can something so similar to an orange be so revolting? It may be some time before my palate recovers from this ordeal. As such, I had best call an end to this round of sampling. Let's say our farewells and return to the others.
Apparently we need to talk to Jebke first. Finished, have you? I trust you found something to your liking.
I'm rather enamored with the grapes and oranges. Less so the pumpkin, though I learned the hard way they're not to be eaten raw. Then there was the lemon, the deceiver. I still feel so violated.
First time, was it? I'd hate for you to leave with a bad taste in your mouth, in more ways than one. So I'll give you this lemon muffin I baked. If this doesn't change your opinion, nothing will.
More lemon? Have I not suffered enough? Nevertheless, it would be remiss of me to spurn this opportunity to... a bit of sick came up there. Learn more of your inscrutable ways. Very well, lemon muffin, do your worst.
Dude, lemon muffins are good, don't worry. Delicious.
This is... delicious! Although I still detect a hint of lemon, it complements the sweetness of the dough to create a perfect harmony. I never would have guessed its vile bitterness could be utilized so elegantly. My good chap, this is simply breathtaking.
See? We rarely use lemon in its natural state, but it has a starring role in all sorts of recipes, and the same is true for many other ingredients. It comes down to making the most of the resources at your disposal, and sometimes that can even be the difference between life and death. I know we won't be able to take every species with us. No doubt the Forum agonized over what was worth preserving and what will be consigned to history. Hard choices. But make them we must if we're to survive.
Such strength of will. Now I know what Heidelin sees in your kind. Mankind, the Lobrits, we were both born from the accumulated knowledge of the ancients. They learned all there is to learn about the nature of sentient life and the fates of the stars themselves. Once a civilization has fulfilled the basic requirements for survival, it will inevitably seek to eliminate all forms of negativity and achieve perfection. And therein lies its folly and its downfall. For perfection is an unattainable ideal. 'Tis the paradox of the immaculate carrot. Yet civilizations since time immemorial have deemed the pursuit of perfection as progress. They pay no heed to the costs incurred in their futile quest, and all too often become the architects of their own demise, their dreams forever unfulfilled. What then is the alternative? The answer lies in knowing that our existence can never be perfect, and to be content with what we have and make the most of it. When life gives you lemons, make lemon muffins!
Pardon my Aorsian, but what in the seven are you on about? And who are you, anyway?
Cooking Way, at your service. I'm here to help prepare for the trip to the moon. And once you get there, you'll be able to try my carrots. I've been growing all different kinds. But don't worry, there'll be room for your crops too. We'll work together to preserve as many of Atheris' species as possible. If you're up to the challenge.
Yes, of course. I look forward to it.
Well, this has all been highly productive. Probably. Let's go and see if Iriange and the others have run out of machinery to inspect, shall we?
And off we go, I guess. Back to the others. Ba, ba, ba. You know, that trail right there is pretty monster free, I will say.
That was most enlightening, especially the part with the lemon muffin. Actually, I was wondering, do you know of any other places famed for their cuisine?
Oh, Limsa Laminsa is home to the Culinarians Guild and many less than savory establishments. Why would you even mention that? The Culinarians Guild, bro. Come to Limsa Laminsa.
Would that I had time to visit. The more I learn of Atheris, the more I wish we could spare it from the final days. Alas, Idlin's orders are to flee, not to resist. If only there was some other way.
See? Now knowing what is causing the final days, I am more convinced than ever that we need to stop the final days. We can't just flee. If we flee, then Meteon is just going to follow us and continue to assault us. Like, I don't see as there could be any star out there that we could flee to that she wouldn't just follow us and kill us. You know? The final days are not a problem of this star. They are a problem of Meteon trying to murder everyone. So. Well, now I've got another code. That mount will be mine. Junasia, I trust thy time at Mariol Agronomics did bear fruit. Our own efforts, too, were rewarded. We now possess an embarrassment of educational riches. No doubt our guests' restless pursuit of knowledge could occupy them, and us, for a fortnight. Alas, time is of the essence. Let us return to Charlie and Hamlet forthwith. I shall gladly attend to each and every loperate there, should further questions within my power to answer arise. Look at my Frogo. Oh. Clearly they wanted to spend more time here. Oh, and I don't have to escort them back to the hamlet? You can handle them now? Suddenly, Urion J can escort all 4 of them all by himself. Gee, Urion J, I didn't realize you changed classes again. To a tank. Growing Way. Hello! How art thou?
Yes, Junosia, that was indeed me verbalizing a sigh to express my emotional state. Do you want to know why? Because I saw the reconstructed environmental data for Atheris at Logisticon Alpha. That's why. A forest so lovely and so leafy. Are all of your forests like that?
The Black Shroud is quite leafy indeed, and a place of utmost tranquility. They're verdant, at least. The trees of Dravania stand particularly proud. You should see the forests of the first. One was purple. We'll stick to Atheris for now. Black Shroud, quite leafy. Bruh. So tranquil.
I say, with a star so wonderful, it comes as no surprise that you're reluctant to leave it behind. I was a fool to think otherwise, to assume that the moon was something worth being proud of. How ridiculous we must seem to you, trying so hard yet achieving so little. No, come.
Bro. Not at all. Thy works are no less worthy of their uniqueness, or for their uniqueness. Thought I heard tiny voices. Thancred! How didst thou fare? Oh, I was able to glean a fair bit from the researchers while helping to move their cargo. Preparations have proceeded without interruption here. despite news of the coming end. We have the forum's leadership to thank for that. That doesn't mean people aren't worried, though. Quite the opposite. Knowing disaster could strike at any moment, they hurry to complete their work, equally aware that a single error could be the difference between life and death, and we can hardly tell them there's no cause for concern. Perhaps not, though aided by our goodly growing way, we may yet find other ways to lighten their burden.
Me? Be of use to people? I'm honored that you would think me so capable, but I'm not sure that I'm up to the challenge.
Nevertheless, I believe in thee.
If you say so, I suppose it can't hurt to try.
I passed someone moping in the Western Plaza that looked to be in need of a helping paw. Perhaps you might start with him? "'Tis as good a place as any. Come." Helping paw. Thancred and Urianger with the puns all of a sudden. Bear fruit, helping paw. Oh, can I help you? Oh, but also I wanted to mention, Thancred saying how everyone's all very concerned and rushing and fearful that they won't get things done in time, before the end of days. And that's making me think that they might be starting to teeter onto the edge of turning into monstrosities here due to all those heightened emotions. Which would... that would have disastrous consequences if people started turning into monstrosities here in Charlian, because this is the place where they're trying to get things together and put things onto a ship to send to the moon. And if they start turning into monstrosities and this place runs amok, things get destroyed, people get killed, that would cause even more people to panic and turn into monstrosities. And not to mention, not just here in Charlian, but across the star, people hearing about how Charlian, their hope for getting off the star, is in ruin, and now they have no hope of fleeing to the moon. And that would send more people into panic, and then more monstrosities, and it just snowballs from there. That would suck. Hopefully I'm not foreshadowing anything. It is you who would help me? Is my anxiety truly so obvious? A burden shared is a burden eased. Pray, tell us of thy troubles. Those little fellows do look like good listeners. I'm an engineer, you see, and what they say of the ship, that it's the sum of decades of Charlian ingenuity, that it's built with peerless, elegant technology, is all true, but I know that none of that's a guarantee. We've never before launched a starfaring vessel, let alone flown it in the great expanse. All the tests we've run have been on the ground. Only
Operational personnel and cargo will be aboard the first voyage, but even so, if it fails us then, what can we do? And if it doesn't, it could fall apart on the next flight, or the one after that. We've done everything we can to prevent that from happening, but it hardly matters. We thought the ether burner's design was flawless too, and look how that turned out.
Thou art familiar with these most daunting technologies, and thus dost thou hold the power to allay his fears.
Oh, I'm not sure about that, but, well... Maybe you could tell me if there are any aspects of the ship's design that you're especially worried about?
Our ability to walk about and perform our tasks, for one. I've devised a means by which to employ gravity, a spatio-temporal spell, to regulate the environment, but what if it's not strong enough? What if everyone floats away and begins crashing into things as soon as we've left the star?
Aha! Gravitation. Maybe I can be of help after all. Up there is not so different from down here, you see. The same rules apply, and if you consider them as part of one great big cosmos rather than separate places...
I suspect both parties shall find comfort in this conversation. Yet if Thancred's tale be true, still others would benefit from insights born of experience. Might I prevail upon the Loporrits to attend them?
An excellent idea, if I do say so myself. There is naught we like more than to ease the hearts of the fine people of Atharis, and learn more about them while we're at it. Woo!
Full glad am I to hear it. Gather thy companions and bring them hither. Genosia, thou hast a gift for finding souls in need of succor. Pray, seek thee out the distressed and the apprehensive, and inform them that help is at hand. I shall await them here, that I might introduce them each to a suitable Loporrit.
Oh, I do so look forward to that. A place for every Loporrit, and every Loporrit in their place.
Sure. Yeah. Also, I realized that I do believe we can do this. Yes. But there we go. Update gear set. Alright. Oh. Anxious engineer.
What am I thinking about? The medical facilities on the ship, of course. I designed them with the assistance of our sages and chirurgeons, but to imagine every illness or injury that one might face in that great expanse is beyond any of us. To say nothing of the effects that living out there indefinitely might have on the body.
Might I introduce you to some Loporrits?
The crew from the moon? Why did I not think of that?
Yes. Go speak to some moon bunnies, if you would. Oh. Level-headed engineer.
Concerns? Nay, there's no point in worrying at this stage. It'll only make the work go that much the slower.
She seems to be coping well. All right then.
The end of the world is nigh, yet the work goes no faster. Schedules are such temperamental things, feasible one moment, utter bollocks the next. And yet, I've never felt so alive!
This one is beyond your help. Only sleep can save her now. This one has gone completely insane. You'd best leave her be.
Yes, you idiot! Have you seen an envelope lying about? This imbecile refuses to give me an alchemic I ordered without that bloody slip of parchment.
Who you calling an idiot, bro? How about you take a step back, bro?
Unless your friends have a spell to make me remember where I dropped my envelope, I doubt there'll be more help than you. And you've wasted enough of my time already! It would be unfortunate for all involved to inflict this man upon the leopards.
It would. This is a rude man. A rude man. Grimacing naturalist.
My face? What's wrong with my... Ow! Perhaps I am a bit tense. I was tasked with ensuring that the proper fauna, and only the proper fauna, are brought with us to the moon. However, the suitability of a few species is still under debate, and I can hardly make the decision myself when I know so little about the environment up there.
Well, it just so happens we got some moon buddies for you to talk to.
Including the leopards in our discussions is a wonderful idea. I absolutely will. Thank you. Perhaps their biology itself might offer some clue as well.
Yeah. Ponderous mathematician.
Consult our collaborators? I suppose that would be more effective than sitting here brooding. I'm attempting to calculate how much cargo we can consolidate into fewer trips, should the ether burner make our original estimates unfeasible. But there are simply too many variables. Feel as if my brow will turn inside out. But perhaps our lunar associates will have more insight into how much weight constitutes too much weight for our purposes. Thank you for letting me know.
No problem. Hey, tired gleaner. Are you just, like, physically tired, mentally tired?
Is anything bothering me? Well, I've been loading cargo for bells now, so my back feels like a voice and played it as a piano. My feet and knees as drums and cymbals too.
This cleaner seems fine, if in need of a break. Yeah, you take your break. Rest. Recover. Despondent engineer. Just leave me to my misery. The forum can appoint someone else. I apologize. I simply don't know what to do. How am I supposed to pilot the Ark if I'm already falling apart under the pressure? Would you like to speak to some bunnies? You know a starship pilot that I might speak with? Truly? Oh, well then, there's no time to waste. They can help me prepare for this monumental task.
You go talk to the bunnies, pal.
Skeptical researcher. Have you heard anything of what's on the moon? I have no doubt I have no doubt that we can make it up there, but the searching for a new star part of the plan sounds awfully vague to me. I asked the forum, but they will only tell us that our collaborators have everything under control. Forgive me, but I don't feel particularly safe wandering through the sea of stars on gods know what, made by gods know who. Would you like to speak with the moon buddies?
You mean to say that I can speak with them directly? Amazing! I hope they like questions.
Oh, I'm sure they love questions. Now. Oh. Calm, researcher. Ah, they don't need my help.
Worries. No, I believe I'm fine. Thank you. I've been confiding in my colleagues, and it's helped a lot. Can't recommend it enough.
She has the support she needs. See, now that right there is a healthy researcher. Taking care of herself, getting the support she requires. How might I help you? How might I help you?
My, what a lovely idea! I too noticed people becoming rather tense, so I rushed out to pluck some fresh and fragrant tea leaves. Now I need only track down 100 or so cups. But don't you worry, I can manage. I hope your plan to cheer everyone up goes well.
This woman is doing better than you are. Who's to say she's doing better than I am, huh? You can't just decide that for me. Though I will admit that she is doing rather well. Making tea for everyone. Aha! Harried etherologist.
Blasted assistants! Where have they gone off to at a time like this? Beg pardon, but I have not the time for idle chit-chat. I need to reconfirm that ether levels are consistent throughout the vessel's machinery, and it seems I shall have to do so single-handedly. I swear, when I find those assistants of mine, the Loporits are willing to help. Why didn't you say so? At least they won't moan about how they checked 24 times already and haven't slept in weeks. Lazy sods.
I don't know about that, man. Oh, distracted researcher? And a hyperventilating engineer, I betcha. That's one we need to talk to. 56 bunches of weeds in the ground, 56 bunches of weeds. Rip one out, add to the amount. 55 bunches of weeds in the... Hey! I'm not neglecting my duties, I swear. I was in need of a little break, you see, but then I found myself unable to relax at all, so I went on a walk, and then I noticed these weeds, and... Pleasant conversation, partners, and oh so fuzzy! Goodness me, that does sound like a much better way to relax. And off goes the ADD researcher. The quads, my chest is tight. Am I dying? Is this what dying feels like? Oh, do pardon me. I didn't see you there. There's no cause for concern, I assure you. No cause for concern, even though we may need to depart at any moment. And if the hull I designed buckles under the strain, the entire vessel may explode on launch, claiming countless lives and dooming all mankind. But that is highly unlikely! Yes, Highly unlikely. Highly. Our visitors can help me triple check for structural flaws, you say? Why, that would be wonderful! I'm breathing more easily already! There you go, there you go. Go talk to the moon bunnies. You know what these shrubs remind me of? Grapes. Oh boy. O square.
Ariange, behold, Junosia, thou, through thine efforts, word hath spread throughout Labyrinthos. Verily, to a far greater number than we anticipated. Living Way doth gather the more leopards as we speak. I shall assign each in accordance with their skills, that new bonds of friendship might be forged. Should greater matters require not thine attentions, watch over them, I prithee.
Right. Waiting. So many researchers and engineers and scientists and mathematicians. So few moon bunnies.
Phew! Oh, finally some rest. Why, I haven't spoken so much in, well, in forever.
Lively, isn't it? The town is abuzz. Everyone eager to meet with our friends from the moon.
I'm sure. When you hear there's moon bunnies in your vicinity, you go and check it out.
Consult with Sleeping Way. As our moon's pilot, his advice should be most pertinent.
Sleeping Way. Hey,
I'm impressed.
hey, Sleeping Way.
Truth be told, I struggle to tell one from another. No offense intended, of course.
Thancred!
None taken. After you and your friends left Mare Elementorum, we spent no small amount of time with your Urianger. Oh, the conversations we had. He told us all about Atheris, answered our every question, no matter how trifling or trivial. Look! Every page filled to the margins with knowledge. When I first arrived, I was struck by how little I knew. It was daunting. But then I realized that were it not for Urianger and his teachings, we'd still be stuck on the moon, gazing at your world and wondering what we've been missing.
Yeah?
What would they think if they could see Urianger now? I dare say they'd be more than a bit surprised. And impressed, no doubt. Master Louis Soir, Minfilia, Papalimo, and not to forget,
Not to forget.
Oh there. Heard there was a visiting expert who we might bother with a few questions. I take it you'd be the one.
Yes, I am.
Wilson and Blovida, Charlian's foremost researchers in the field of teleportation magic, and Moonbreeder's parents.
Right. Has he gone to speak with them yet? I can't. I know he was urged to go speak with them, but I can't remember if he actually did or not.
It hath been some time. Tis good to see you in good health.
Likewise, old friend. Blovida and I were most honored to answer the call. Never expected this reunion, though, did we, dear?
Alfei, the nerve. Sending that letter, then running off to the gods know where. Do you have any idea how worried we were?
I'm sorry. 'Twas remiss of me not to deliver the news in person. No, more than that. 'Twas I who...
Our daughter was disillusioned after Master Louisoix left her behind. The day the Scions called upon her was the happiest I'd seen her in years. She made her every choice of her own free will. No one could have ever forced her to do otherwise. Don't blame yourself for her death. Celebrate her life. You know that's what she'd want.
If there is one thing we resent you for, it was that we could not be there to mourn her with you. Reading the words you penned in that shaky hand, we must have cried as much for you as we did for her.
I'm sorry. I truly, truly am. I knew not what to say. Knew not how to express my feelings. The poems and platitudes of wiser men, musings on sadness and loss, studied and memorized, and meaningless in the moment.
Silly boy. We are all powerless before such grief. Even now, try as I might, the words escape me. But in our hearts, we know. We always know.
I remember when you were young, how the lads teased you for choosing the company of books over others. Our moon didn't take kindly to that. Be nice to Urianger, she'd shout, and give them a walloping. No matter how many times we scolded her.
So we offered a suggestion. Rather than starting fights, why don't you be the bridge between Urianger and the others? She had to mull it over for a while, arms crossed, brow furrowed in intense thought. But from that day on, she never let you be alone. She'd drag you outside to play, pepper you with endless questions, read the same books you read, all to try and understand you that much better. I'm sure it was annoying and exhausting at the time, but she only ever had the best of intentions.
And look at you now, at the center of the crowd. The reason there even is a crowd, having brought these people together. You've no idea how proud we are.
To see the boy, our daughter, trusted and believed in more than anyone, grow into the man she always knew he could be. I can see her in you, too. Feel her. She walks with you wheresoever you go. So thank you, Urianger, for being who you are.
I think I can feel her too.
Man, even I'm teared up too.
The truth of her life. Not sorrow, but hope and love
important to him, wasn't she?
Yeah. Yeah.
You could ask the man himself.
Oh, no. But watching this exchange reminds me how much I've yet to learn about your world. And its people.
You can live here your entire life and hardly learn a thing.
True.
And that's why it's too soon for this to end.
Oh, Gerontia, be assured that I am fine. I am. Oh, glad to see them too, after so very long. Gladder still that it was in your company, as difficult as it was to accept their kindness. It would have been far harder had I faced them alone.
I got you, bro. Now, about these boots. 545. Yes. They are better, though I will obviously be glamoring. Yeah, just basic looking thigh highs. Yeah. Glamour. Also, comparison-wise, it still has skill speed, and it's got just one additional. It has critical hit instead of determination. Higher defenses, though. Not big on the crit hit instead of determination. Affects the amount of damage dealt by both physical and magic, whereas this one affects the amount of physical and magic damage dealt as well as HP restored when you get a critical hit. Right? The higher the value. Oh no, the higher the value, the higher the frequency with which your hits will be critical, such higher potency of critical hits. Okay, so it affects both potency and chance. Even so, I feel like determination might be better for a tank. Either way. The pall of anxiety over Charlene Hamlet has thinned to more manageable levels.
Ahem. Thou hast my gratitude for lending courage to the Loprits. Not disposed to rest on their laurels, or not disposed to rest on their laurels, several of our guests have elected to accompany my countrymen to their stations. Some few may still come hither seeking counsel, and so I shall remain to aid them as need be. If thou art needed elsewhere, do not let me detain thee. As a matter of fact, I was hoping you might check on Alize. Last I saw, she was struggling to carry an enormous pile of boxes out the west gate. I could go myself, but we both know whose help she's less like to scorn. Not to mention that, much to my misfortune, I can think of several other things I ought to be doing. Until later.
Well then. Musselfret, you have an ether current for me, and a necklace, it looks like.
What am I to do? You're that adventurer who helped out the students of Valdesian, aren't you? I suppose it matters not to you, but my son seems to have run away.
Why was there a child here in the first place?
Ah, yes. Simply put, my wife and I work at Aporia, and she happened to conceive whilst we were living here in Charlie and Hamlet. I assure you, we had many sleepless nights wondering if we should quit our jobs and leave Labyrinthos or entrust the child to a friend of ours who dwells somewhere more suitable. Ultimately, we decided to continue our work whilst raising the child here. After all, our research is focused on the very future that our offspring will inhabit. The issue is, however, that the magic that prevents us from revealing anything confidential is too potent to be used on children. Of course, we can't allow the little one to roam freely. There's no telling what he might impart onto others. So he has spent his entire life thus far within the confines of Charlie and Hamlet. We recently had a slight spat with him and, well, he decided to flee. I imagine me going after him would only make things worse. Could I ask you to talk to him in my stead? I'm sure he'd be much more willing to listen to, anyone other than his parents at this point. Thank you. Verpalain, my boy, is most likely in the plaza to the east. I cannot imagine he struck out any further on his own.
Very well. Wait. What is this? Okay, we did. Yeah, should be another Ether quest then. I thought that would be the last one before the main story quest one, but it would seem that I miscounted. All the way up the stables, I guess. Vera, oh, you! I think. Gleaner?
You're a visitor to Charlian, aren't you? You do have a worldly look about you.
As a Gleaner. Okay, I guess it's different. Or Vera, Gleaner.
As a gleaner, I too have journeyed far and wide. Tell me, where is the farthest you have ventured?
Another world. Though that does bring into question, which is farther? The distant past, possibly hundreds of years ago, or another world entirely? Well, since our options are either Far East, another world, or I cannot say, I'll say another world. Looks up into the sky.
Is that meant to be in jest? The look on your face tells me you're serious. Oh, aye. You should do nicely. You see, I need a more experienced traveler to say a prayer for me before I leave for Girabania. If you would do me the honor, the reactor operator by the tower to the south should have a lantern crystal prepared for the purpose.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Woo!
Now, let's go find this runaway child. And then go get that crystal. Verpalain.
What? Who are you?
And he runs off. Yeah, that understandable reaction. Verpalain. Young child. Your parents are concerned about you.
I am not going to go home so easily. You probably won't believe me either, but I've noticed that all is not right in Labyrinthos.
Why don't you try telling me first?
Fine. I shall tell you what I've seen. The colour of the artificial light here changed recently. I'm sure most people haven't noticed, but when you've spent your whole life here, the difference is like night and day.
Well, the artificial light is currently off, it would seem. Artificially creating a nighttime.
Even so, no one will take me seriously when I bring it up. All because of my age. Got into a big fight with father about it. But Labyrinthos is in danger. Who knows what would happen if the artificial sun broke? That's why I can't go home just yet. I need to get to the bottom of this first. Although, I am scared to venture outside on my own. They say there's countless monsters out there. I don't suppose you would come with me? I could pay you. It's not much, but I do get pocket money from my parents.
You don't need to pay me, small child.
I thought you were different from the rest, but now you're treating me like a child too. This is a proper deal, all right. You've got to take my money to make it binding.
Okay. All right.
Then it's settled.
Yep. And I will definitely get around to doing this. For sure. Woo. Man, I want a motorcycle. One day. Alright. This way. Also, should check out this necklace. Look. Choker. Star Quartz Choker Offending. Stats wise. Slightly more strength, vitality. Determination. It's got skill speed instead of tenacity. So that would be a loss of 99 tenacity, which isn't too bad. 103 skill speed. That would put us over 1,000 skill speed. Yeah, I guess we'll equip it. Does also help with our average item level, I guess. Keep that up, so we'll be able to do the duties we need to do. Ah, the artificial sun is back on again. Supposedly the color has changed recently. Man, I really hope the new graphics update coming up in June will fix these stuttery shadow movements. Because if you're gonna have shadows like dynamically move with the movement of the sun, they should be a smooth movement, not a stuttery movement like that. Are you here for the crystal? I hope it does some good for that gleaner. Those folks need all the luck they can get. Lanterns light the way through the darkness, a tool which can mean the difference between life and death.
They are synonymous with safe passage, and as such, it has become custom in recent days to imbue the crystals inside with the prayers of a more seasoned traveler. And today, that traveler is you. Simply face the crystal and pray for the safety of the traveler to be, if you will. Lantern crystal. Slash pray. Pray before the lantern crystal. A colleague recently told me about the power of Akasa, a concept taught in Radzatan, and how it reacts to strong emotion. I wonder if this method of praying to a crystal is a manifestation of that power. Well, that should be about do it. With luck, your prayers will help guide the gleaner safely through the perils of his journey.
I guess I will deliver the crystal to him as well. Back to the hamlet. Oh, Gleaner! Here you go.
Do you have a lantern crystal for me? You have my thanks. With your prayer fueling its light, I have faith that it will keep me safe until my return. And now, I depart for Girabania. I hope your travels are successful as well as mine.
Now we only need one more ether current, and then we can fly in this area. And that'll be all areas except for the final one, which we haven't been to yet, in which we will be able to fly. Very nice. And helps to cement the fact that we are getting very close to the end of this expansion. On top of the fact that we're level 89 out of 90. Logisticon Beta. Alice!
Genosia, what are you doing out here? No, I don't mind if you help with the boxes, but it's far from the most exciting of tasks. Are you sure? Well, I appreciate the assistance. We need to get these to Aporia. Time is short, of course, but they're full of organic specimens and samples, so try not to be too rough with them. Alphino should be waiting for us when we arrive. I'll see you there.
Deliver the crates of samples, Alphino. You have 3 minutes to complete the task. Should you fail, return to the starting location and try again. Alphino! I have a box! I have a box of things for you. And I'm not allowed to run or sprint. Such a long run to get to. Cross a... what is that? An eighth of the circle? maybe a 10th.
Oh, you're helping with the crates. Wonderful. You can put that there with the others.
Ah, just needed to move one, I guess. I thought I'd have to run back across to get another box and come back. But no, just one.
You have my gratitude. But how did you come to be involved in this?
Well,
Then I suppose I have Thancred to thank as well. If you're wondering why we were tasked with bringing these boxes to Aporia to begin with, so was I. It turns out that this is a base of operations of sorts. Those with final say as to what is included in the ship's manifest can be found here. Father included, I suspect. That should be everything. You carried all of that at once? Are you trying to injure yourself?
Oh, hush. They're lighter than they look. And not everyone has your delicate arms. I suppose we should let someone know that we've finished.
Theopoldin is in the courtyard. We can report to him.
Why don't you come along? You should get credit for your assistance, at least. Considering where we are, we might even learn something interesting.
Off she goes.
Aporia. Sprint. Theopoldin. God, it never ends, does it? What can I do for you?
We've brought samples from Charlie and Hamlet. Series 110? The crates are by the entrance.
Ah, thank you. I'd expected one of my colleagues, but we are dreadfully short-handed. Just a moment. You're Fortunate's children, are you not?
Alphino and Alize at your service. You're well acquainted with Father, I take it?
Quite. I've been friends with your parents since our days at the studium. I remember when you were ye-high, waddling hither and thither. Clearly it's been quite some time since we've met. 'Tis good to see you again, wielding your father's, noliths, no less.
You knew our parents when they were young? What were they like? Pray, spare no detail.
I should like nothing more than to regale you. Alas, I am meant to be in charge here, and reams of paperwork want first submission.
We can help with that, in exchange for the sort of stories our parents would never willingly divulge, of course.
Very well then. There happen to be 3 sets of documents in need of delivery, so how about you each take one? Delivering paperwork. Alright.
Wait right there.
Yep. You will find a forum representative waiting to collect these near the southernmost structure. I hope I haven't kept her waiting too long. Never mind Alphino and Alize. I'm certain they will be back soon enough.
I'm certain they will. Alize really wants you to spill the tea on her parents. You said southernmost structure. Ah, here we are. Reserved representative.
Are you not one of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn? I thought you were meant to be working on the ether burner.
Yeah, well, we're working on it. We got friends bringing in supplies, but while we wait...
The Paladin's paperwork? I was beginning to worry we had misplaced he had misplaced his quill. I appreciate your help in seeing these documents to my hands at last. As for your other task, pray keep this between us, but I sincerely hope you scions succeed. The Exodus is, without a doubt, the most monumental undertaking in the history of the Forum, and so we must be circumspect in all respects. Risk is a privilege we cannot afford ourselves. At its heart, however, Charlian has ever been a nation of the curious. 'Twould be a tragedy indeed if we were the ones to stymie your pursuit of truth.
Yeah. Which you have been for a while. Constantly keeping your secrets. And trying to arrest us for trying to find out your secrets.
Quick and efficient. I dare say you have a talent for this work. The twins' papers only needed to be delivered to elsewhere in the facility, so they should be returning any moment.
We return, with not a scrap of paperwork remaining on our persons, you will note.
You both have my thanks, and my apologies for sending you on an errand far below your ambitions. Why, even as a babe you struggled out of your swaddling clothes and...
That is quite enough of that, thank you. It was compromising stories of our parents that we'd asked to hear. To reiterate.
Of course. I've known your father for so long, I must have something. Well, as you know, part of why the Levier name garners such respect in Charlian is your family's storied history. You two can trace your ancestry directly to those who came aboard Njunkrep's Hope, a lineage few can claim.
I've never thought much of it myself. It's not as though our forebears founded our nation. They were simply there when it happened. Nevertheless, it has traditionally been a point of pride. 'Tis why Njunkrep's pronouncement, renounce the ways of war and pursue enlightenment through knowledge and reason, has ever been our family's creed.
Until your grandfather's time, aye. Archon Louis Soir looked not to Njunkrep's words, but his deeds. He asserted in defiance of his peers that choosing to save the great and the small from the rising tides was the true mark of our founder's virtue. Perhaps it was his expertise, his knowledge of ancient prophecy and the fall of civilizations that led him to conclude that to eschew conflict at every turn was to consign mankind to his doom.
There will ever be conflict and calamity will follow. Thus, to ignore the plight of those one might conceivably save is not wisdom, it is indolence.
You remember his words well, indeed. Archon Louis Soir lived by that personal creed, and used every means at his disposal to bring succor to those in need, Charlian or no. No one loved and admired your grandfather more than his son. Yet Fourchenault could not reconcile Louison's deeds with the philosophy of their forebears and his peers, a philosophy in which he believed so fervently, yet made a pariah of his father. Fourchenault agonized over this contradiction for much of his life.
God's father?
A son may carry his father's blood, but his choices are his own to bear. is it not always thus? God knows why Fortunal's a cranky old goat, so I'm sure you butt heads often enough. Yet, even so, you must know that you are constantly in his thoughts, every moment of every day, and that is not an exaggeration in the slightest. You should have seen him when you were born, barely recognizable. He was, with a kind of dumbfounded grin. I've not seen since he first took a fancy to your mother. He was practically skipping when he told me the news. Take my word for it, he loves you to an embarrassing degree. But he is also frustratingly single-minded. Once he's decided that a given action is for the best, he will stay the course no matter who or what opposes him. A profoundly annoying habit when you're on the other end of it, as I'm sure you will agree.
I'll say. Thank you for your insight. When next we meet our parents, I shall mention that we spoke.
Try not to get me into too much trouble now. I need the forum on my side. Speaking of which, I ought to be getting back to work. I have to make sure those specimens you brought make it to their proper places, or the cranky old goat will have my hide. We can speak again later.
Thanks for the gloves.
Hail, you three!
Graha, surely Kokol hasn't driven you out of the forge already? For better or for worse, no. However, he has set me a task that requires more than my single pair of hands. And here you are! I could use at least one of you, but I won't object to more. Unfortunately, Alize and I have prior commitments, and we have delayed too long as it is. What about you, Genosia? Can you spare the time? Perfect. This shouldn't take long.
Indeed, Graha. But also, first, got gloves. New gloves. Apparently, I also had these gloves that I didn't equip. These are 539. I probably didn't equip them yet because I wasn't in a place where I could glamour them. Let me look at those. They do look pretty cool. I am wondering how they might look dyed. I want to see what, if it would tell me what dye these currently are. Woad. So we'll take first a look at Woad. See how those compare. See, I like how there's these gray outlines and like little chip bits like weathering with the highlights. I like that. It gives it a lot more depth to the piece, perceived depth, and a lot more character to it. Whereas this is just like shiny, brand spanking new, same color all across the entire piece of metal, including the border. Just doesn't look nearly as interesting. I do like those little spike bits though, and the pointy fingertips. Yeah, that's definitely why I didn't use it for a glamour. Unlike these, which were pretty nice. Again, I do prefer if there's a bit more
color variation, but the style and the clawed feet, I like that. And the fact that I can match, or pretty much match the color, at least pretty closely, to the other gold bits on my armor. Oops, not equip those. We got brand new gauntlets that should be even better. Yes. A bigger jump. And ooh, we're again losing tenacity for skill speed though. Down another 88 tenacity. Dropping below 1300. But we will be bumping up above 1100 skill speed. How did these look? Not bad, but obviously not to my to the style of my current fit. But 541 average item level. Let me just see. This is 539, 545, 545, 545, 545, 545. Well, these are 530, 536, 545, 560, of course. An unspecified task awaits you. In the event that our, and I quote, promised heap of adamantite falls right out of the bloody sky and into my lap, Master Coco wishes to be ready to put the proverbial hammer to anvil at a moment's notice. To fabricate these pots, however, he needs the flames in Coco's forge to burn hotter. He sent me to increase the amount of ether being funneled to his furnaces. The flow of fire-aspected ether in Labyrinthos is regulated by an elemental reactor south of here, to which I have borrowed the key. The adjustment will require 2 people to carry out safely, but I can explain the process when we arrive. This is where we part, then. We'll see you in Charlie and Hamlet once the adamantite arrives, if not before. Nodders. This way, then. Let's go. Dog. Graha. The reactor is housed within this facility. I'll be the one to go inside and adjust the fire ether output. When I do, a rather large amount of water-aspected ether will issue from the vent at the top. I expect this to attract at least a few elementals, which we would both rather not be drawn into the reactor itself, trust me. Can I ask that you put down any that draw too near? They'll pose you little trouble, I'm sure. Wait here if you would. Yeah, I got this. Destination surveying. Never mind those swirling apple. Something. Yep. Woo. Swirling sprites. Good. Yeah. Nice. Oh, and then destination, I guess. Right here.
Did everything go smoothly out here?
Yeah.
I thought as much. No major complications to speak of inside either. And the water ether appears to be venting properly. I expect Coco will have seen a difference in his forge flames by the time I return. Since I have you, there was another matter I thought to discuss with you. Nothing terribly important, merely something I've been considering. Parts of this I shared with everyone, yet you, and only you, have been to Elpis. As we have established, refined adamantite is a product of Alec, of the Empire's twilight years, in fact. It was a material which saw much use as part of the Allegan's efforts to extend beyond the bounds of this world. Dalamud, of course, being the most prominent. Of those who would push further, expand Alec's empire to encompass the heavens and the stars above, perhaps the greatest was its infamous technologist, Amon. Amon wanted to travel the Sea of Stars? Oh, did he remember his life as Hermes? I believe he had his own reasons. There is no evidence to suggest that he retained memories of his former life. He only joined the Asians once the Empire was all but dust, as you know. If not his memory, though, what drove him to pursue the idea with such fervor? This may seem far-fetched, but what if souls like minds have a personality, so to speak? A natural disposition towards which they are inclined? We know with relative certainty that it was the gross decadence and inexorable decline of Alec that moved Amon to resurrect Emperor Xande. The Empire's people spoke lightly of death and destruction, experimenting on those they deemed beneath them to fill the emptiness in their hearts. In facilitating Xande's return, Amon provided these languid souls with the means to free themselves from the mire of their own indolence. Or would have, had not Xande been convinced by his own death that life itself was meaningless. Amon's desire for his countrymen to conquer the heavens could only be a means to the same end, to instill the people with new purpose. Like Hermes before him, Amon was appalled by how those around him lived, but could never bring himself to believe that those lives were devoid of meaning. And both of them sought that meaning, that hope in the distant stars. Such is my theory, anyway. Ultimately, it is the consequences of their actions which matter. Their motives are of no moment. And yet, to reach those stars on wings of adamantite, to travel to the ends of creation and beyond, the promise of hope everlasting, that much I do understand. But enough musing for now. Why don't we see how Coco is getting on?
Indeed.
Torgal!
Whoops. Good boy. Very good boy.
central circuit. Almost there. To Kuckle Dunkle. Also, we should speak to the junkmonger to make sure our gear is all repaired. I guess it is. We haven't really done much of any fighting today.
Whew! I can feel those flames ablazing from here. Glad you found someone capable, Graha, but there's not much left for you to do, or for you lot to do, unless you can conjure up that refined adamantite any faster. Who knows? The final etherites, or ether currents.
And we still need another 7.7 million XP to get to level 90, but I'm sure we'll get there.
I do trust you to deliver on your promise, I do, only... I hate waiting! I want that adamantite, and I want it now!
We, share your impatience, I assure you. Is there truly nothing else we can assist with in the meantime?
I wish! This sitting about's unbearable! Pity the foreign frowns on recreational expeditions. Well, so long as they can't prove it was premeditated. Get you gone! I've mistakes to make.
In that case, I suppose I should go and return the key to the reactor. I'll have one more look to make sure that nothing has gone wrong, unintentionally or otherwise. I'm certain that there are better uses for your time, however. I will join you in the Charlane Hamlet anon.
Okay, still on the 88 quests. Let's see, we'll have no problems getting to level 90 before the 90 quests. Okay, bonds of adamant height. Let me take a look real quick. Okay, so this is the last level 88 quest, and then we're on to level 89 quests. Let me think here. So we're getting 500,000 per quest. So this is 1, 2. There's 11. There's 11. That's only 5.5 million. So that's not going to be enough to get us to level 90 before the level 90 quest, which means I will have to do some leveling off stream, I guess. Just a little bit. Not too much. It's 5.5 will get us to 8.6 million-ish. 8.6 million. Possibly a little closer to 8.7. Although I do see a boss fight and a dungeon coming up really soon. And so those should give some decent chunks of XP in and of themselves. If you wait here, your companions are bound to turn up sooner or later. Yeah, for sure. We'll just wait. It'll be fine. Someone will show up.
All set, I take it?
Ishtola! Yeah.
We finished what we could. Delivered supplies, tracked down escaped animals. Trivial tasks as they may be.
Same here.
That's enough, don't you think? If there was anything more important still undone, that would be a problem in itself.
Yeah.
The vessel is essentially ready for departure. All that remains is to load the final batch of supplies and see everyone on board. Once we've readied the ether burner, that is.
Hang on a moment. There's a stink bug here I need to deal with. Alright. Stink bug dealt with. And just tossed him outside. Grabbed him up in a napkin and just carried him off to the back door. Didn't want to crush him because then he's just gonna stink up the place and smell horrible. Anyways, back to this. Vessel essentially ready to depart. Right there. Once we've readied the ether burner, that is, yes.
Ah, had a feeling we might find you all here.
That's
Our
was my
consultations
feeling.
with the Loperites, too, have run their course. Pleased I am to say that our researchers' concerns have for the most part been allayed, though some insist on making adjustments to the very end.
I'm sure.
For their part, Livingway and her peers have graciously offered to stay and keep the people company, lest any lingering queries go unanswered.
All that remains is to wait for the refined adamantite.
Yeah? Oh?
Alphino, are you there? It's me, Kryl.
Crap!
Your special delivery has arrived. Round up everyone and come to the harbor at once.
Woo! Special delivery!
Speak of the devil. Let us go at once.
Indeed.
Forgive the intrusion, Master Fortuner. I bring urgent news. A great commotion has broken out in Scholars Harbor. Your presence is requested with
What?
all speed.
Great commotion. Also made that. Random stink bug got me.
Now, where might this delivery be?
Thinking there might be. What if there's another one around here?
Oh.
That's a lot of boxes.
I'm sure it's very important, but we cannot accept these without the proper permits.
By the 12! Surely, these can't all be...
They can't all be. But...
Bleeding hellfire! They're bringing them by sea and by air. All these folks in these crates.
And more on the way. Got your adamantite right here.
Sicard.
Bigger haul than any of these sorry bastards brought, and that's no lie.
Yes, because you were charged with seeing the shipments from Gridania and Uldar here, along with your own. Give credit where credit is due.
You've got 3 countries.
Sounds like the sorry whinging of a sore loser. An hypocrite to boot. Ain't no way a scrawny whelp like you took a dozen steps inside a Dalamant shard.
I'll have you know I went all the way to the entrance. I played a vital role in keeping a lookout whilst our expeditionary forces secured the adamantite.
Oh, of course, Amelie. Of course.
Left you outside so you wouldn't get anyone killed, did they? Well then, credit where credit's due, you did a right fine job sitting on your ass.
Take that back.
Make me.
I will not stoop to your level.
Oh, our friends.
My, what a grand welcome party. Hancock and Soroban.
Yes. Friends from
We
the
come
East.
bearing relics both sacred and allegan, as well as a few other gifts that may be of help, to be presented with best wishes from the Eastern Alliance.
Good. Get all that
I
power, all
myself
that ether.
have come with a sacred relic of the Kojin. Upon learning of your need, Bunchin bade me deliver it on behalf of the Blue with all haste.
Thank you. It's much appreciated.
Fearing I could not swim here with the necessary speed, however, I thought to beg our Confederate allies for aid. To my delight, Hancock was already preparing for departure at the self-same port, and had space for additional cargo.
Good. Of course.
We did, of course, need quite the impressive vessel to get it all here in time.
That is quite impressive.
That is all wonderful to hear, but what of the extraordinary cost? I shudder to think of the ransom we must pay for such a bounty.
Ah.
Fret not for your coin purse, young Alphino.
Yeah?
Lord Lolorito looks ever towards the profits of the future, and thus the East Aldenar Trading Company went to some lengths to reduce the financial liability. And since the Scions funded the entire venture, not a gill need be rendered up in compensation. Everything is already yours. We funded the venture? When?
When did we fund that?
Don't let the name fool you. This coin keeper knows a thing or two about spending.
Tataru.
When it comes to capital investiture, a sprinkling of gil here and there will not do. You need enough savings to make waves when it really counts, which is why frugality is paramount.
Uh-huh.
We also had the benefit of a generous patron. Generous being rather an understatement. She has supported us from the shadows since the very founding of the Scions. We even had coffers to fill.
Mother! Of course. Meanwhile, he's like, how could you?
I remain, of course, an entirely neutral party. I simply thought our family's coffers were needlessly full.
We just had too much money lying around. I figured I'd give it to someone who could use it, you know? Just happened to be the Scions.
We can hardly take them with us on your teeny-tiny toy boat, now can we? And 'twould be a shame to leave all that hard-earned wealth unspent. Waste not.
However did you manage so much in so short a time, though? We expected word to reach only a fraction of our allies.
Did I not tell you I have my ways?
Ah.
Erenville,
Erenville.
You were involved too.
I received a letter from Cryo after we parted ways in Labyrinthos. She explained what the Scions were trying to accomplish, and why you might soon require the services of the Gleaners, spread across the world as we are. I pray you do not interpret this as a betrayal of Charlie. I accept that the Forum's aim in pushing us to our limits was to preserve what knowledge we have, and I bear you no ill will for it. Yet, in collecting that knowledge, what I came to appreciate most about our star is that there remains so much we do not know. That is why I chose to help the Scions, to combat the obliteration of those countless undiscovered wonders. I held no illusions that they would be less demanding taskmasters, though, rest assured, if I had, I would have been sorely disappointed. To make a long story short, the whole of the guild ship cooperated to ensure your call was heard far and wide.
And besides, the procurement of this adamantite is for the Forum, so it wasn't really betraying anyone.
What's this about a ship that can fly to the moon?
Sid.
And why didn't you mention it sooner? The one time you don't beg my aid, you
I know,
promise
right?
a bloody ship that can fly to the moon.
Exactly. That was my thought.
Sid, you brought the team.
I thought we'd call you first.
Of course. Garland Ironworks' finest. You need only point us towards my new favorite ship.
As you like us not suspect, we've also brought adamantite from Mordona's Dalamud Shard. I admit to some consternation upon first receiving Kryl's message. So few Scions remain at the Rising Stones now. Far too few for such an expedition. However, the Gleaners were able to secure us reinforcements. Idleshire's treasure hunters, not least among them. I know. How the Gobbyflop fought. Slowfix's gratitude for the safe return of his daughter has not waned, and he gathered his kin to our side with an astounding quickness. The clash between their machina and the Allagan defences was a sight to behold. I wager even you would have been impressed by the magnitude of the gobby booms.
Fascinating as all this is, I fail to see how it explains your presence here. Does Razat-Han not have more pressing concerns?
We do. Yet averting the final days would be the most expedient solution. That, and I am indebted to you. Though they chose to take their leave of Thavnair, those you saved in Galimund remain my people. My gratitude is beyond words. 'Tis appropriate that I aid you in kind. If in the doing we bring salvation to others of this star, so much the better. You will recall that I spoke of my father, Midgard Summer, and his journey across the great expanse.
Yeah?
As he traveled betwixt the stars, his resplendent scales drank of the ether in those nigh empty surrounds, and imparted to him the strength to persevere. Thinking they might further your cause, I called out to my kin for consent.
Ah, gather more scales? To maybe help our ship?
Ajdaya's answer was silence, as ever. Tiamat and Chrisvelgre, however, responded favorably to the suggestion. My sire, too, gave his assent. Thus have I brought you his own worm scales. Fit them to your purpose, and seek a worthier fate for us all.
Many thanks.
You'd be hard-pressed to find someone else so familiar with the unique properties of dragon scales. So I invited myself along.
Bugger me, this is so unbelievable. I've gone right back round to believing it again. Forget a 6% gain in efficiency. With all these goodies, we could get 7, no, 10, no, 14 bleeding percent. Think of how far we could go. What we could do with that much power. What we could blow up.
Well, now hang on, Coco.
If Kokol is duly convinced, then it must be true. In which case, the science end of the bargain has been fulfilled. Would you not agree?
Seems like our end of the bargain is fulfilled. It's almost like helping people and not closing yourself off to the world is a good thing.
Yes, Father?
I know not what you seek of Hydaelyn, nor for what purpose you would take command of our ship. Yet this much is certain. To do so will be to dictate the fate of this star and the lives upon it. The lives of each and every creature, in their magnitude and their fragility. Do you understand? And are you prepared?
We have seen and we have felt how much each life shapes this world. And so we are determined to abandon none. We understand what is at stake, and we are prepared to bear this burden.
Then I will bear it with you. I beg you, share your struggles with me. As family.
Finally opening up to your children.
You grasped my fingers with such tiny hands the day you were born. I thought my heart might burst. 'Twas love and happiness beyond expression. Overwhelming. And a conviction so powerful that I trembled with something close to rage. I had heard the final days foretold. I swore to myself then and there that I would not let them steal your futures. The great exodus would succeed, must succeed. No sacrifice or sin was worse than the alternative. If anything gave me pause, 'twas mine own father. The Archon Louisoix openly decried Charlian's policies, a perspective which I regarded with increasing disdain as I grew older. Yet even as part of me thought him a fool, perhaps I also hoped that he, of all people, would devise a brilliant means to save my children. A naive hope, but stubborn enough that I could never bring myself to keep you apart. No, that was his doing, when he perished at Carteneau. As we pulled that twisted slab of Dalamud from the sea, I remembered the warmth of your newborn touch. Chastened, I vowed never again to suffer any interference in my mission to protect you. No matter that you yourselves wished otherwise. Detest me, fight me tooth and nail, I would suffer it, and more, and be satisfied so long as I could force you onto the ship. I was wrong. You two have grown so much stronger and so much wiser than I dared dream.
You have earned the right to walk your own path, and already begun to do so.
Good. Because there are things we care about, and people we love, and none of them is replaceable. Not a one.
Yeah.
It cannot have been an easy journey for you to have come so far.
We shall be glad to acquaint you with the finer details someday, once this danger has passed. All that we have seen and heard, that we have felt and learned in our travels. Ours is not a kind world, but it is beautiful. Always.
Oh no. Are you quite sure that's wise? After all, someone turns pale and flees the room when he sees so much as an envelope containing word of your adventures. Whatever will happen if he learns what you were really up to?
Amelians. Though I have wronged my children most gravely, I owe you an apology as well.
Yeah.
I assumed that it was the Scion's influence that made them so keen to charge headlong into danger. Yours, in particular. I see now that said influence instead brought them together with the many fine people gathered here today.
Yeah.
In which case, I hope you continue to guide them.
If we've finished loitering about the harbor, might I suggest we put our plans into motion? People are beginning to look confused.
Perhaps you can spare a few words ere they resume the tedious lugging of cargo. You have no small number of friends and admirers here, after all.
Well, everyone. Not. Our moment of triumph is close at hand. Woo! Yeah!
Your assistance is appreciated. Now, in an orderly fashion, if you please.
We finally managed to clear the harbour, which means the rest is in the engineer's capable hands. Meanwhile, Father has issued us an invitation. As we agreed, he will reveal the means by which Heidelin may be contacted. We are to meet him at Aporia when we are ready. Given the vital knowledge she holds, I suggest we leave without delay. It transpires, however, that the forum's method for speaking with her is not without risks. I am curious to hear what those might entail, but regardless, be warned.
Most of those who arrived with adamantite have offered to stay and see to any remaining tasks that need doing. The forum has already asked for my assistance in overseeing the process, so you needn't worry about a thing.
Thank you, Tataru. We're off to Aporia then. Indeed. To Aporia, though, I think we'll have to do that next time on Final Fantasy XIV, because we're nearing the time when I would have to end, and I feel like there's gonna be a lot of talking, since we'll be contacting Brain, come on. Man, Brain, you literally just said it. And I wonder, you know, maybe it's in here. No. Well, you know, we'll be contacting her. Heidelin, there it is. Come on, Brain. Took you long enough. Heidelin, we'll be contacting Heidelin, and I expect there will be a lot of talking with that. And I don't think I have enough time for all of that. So we'll have to call it here. But I'll be back on Saturday. Yes. Shouldn't be anything else going on. So, Saturday for more Final Fantasy XIV, and then next Monday for more Final Fantasy VII. And since here in the States it is Memorial Day, that means I have the day off, so I might start a little bit earlier for that. And then should be back Wednesday as well for more Final Fantasy XIV. Again, I want to chug on through all this content before Dawn Trail comes out. I'm excited for it. We've got a month. 1 month to get through the end of Endwalker here, and then the post-Endwalker content. So right now, Buns. Yeah, we're finishing up that quest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 more quests in Endwalker. Including, looks like, at least 2 dungeons and 2 boss fights, at least. And then there's Post Endwalker, which has 6.1 and 6.2 and 6.3 and 6.4 and 6.5 and 6.55. So it looks like a lot more content that we need to get through. A lot more quests, a lot more dungeons and boss fights and things to get ready for Dawn Trail. That's why I've started doing this Final Fantasy XIV on Saturdays and on Wednesdays, as much as I can. Regardless, be kind to yourself, have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you next mission. Bye-bye.